Hi guys! So, poverty and lack consciousness. A lot of people tend to be really like lack consciousness-esque with money and time. And I don't know, people are weird about their money and their time, you know, like I'm not gonna give you my time for nothing, or if I give you my time that means like I really care about you, and like money means I'm valuable if I have lots of it. If I have lots of money, then that means I'm like important and special, and if I don't, then that means I suck, you know. So a lot of the things with like when dealing with lack and poverty consciousness, you can really notice it when you're dealing with money and with your time, you know. And as a person coming from a lack consciousness that was programmed into my being from, you know, society and like parental figures and stuff, you know, like I was always running around like, not enough time, you know, like those people that like run around with that are like a chicken with their head cut off, you know, like I could get like that, and I would just get really stressed when I felt rushed and like, oh, I need to hurry, you know, like, oh, I gotta do this faster, you know. And even if I like didn't have anywhere to be, I would like put stuff in my head like, oh, I gotta do this fast so I can do this by this time, you know, like and if I didn't, I would get like mad at myself or whatever, or I would always be like, ooh, I don't have enough money, you know, like even if I had money, I would be like, ooh, I need more money, you know. It's like when people don't have money, they're like, ooh, like, you know, when they have a little bit of money, they're like, oh, I'm gonna blow it, you know, really quick. Or when they like, if they're in a poverty consciousness, then they like can blow it really fast. But if they're actually like kind of getting money, then if they're in that lack consciousness with money, then it's like, gotta hold on to it, you know. It's kind of funny how that works. Growing up mostly with my mom as like my main parental figure, she was kind of like my main influence, and she, like, pretty much everybody in the population has had like a lack or a poverty consciousness. And my mom's real big, can be really big on that with like her time and her money, where she's just like, oh, I don't have time to do that, oh, I don't have time to do that, I don't have time to do that, you know. And also with money and stuff, where it's like, I gotta hold on to it or just like blow it really quick. Something that like my mom would do, and it really like kind of messed me up for a while, like when we started like experiencing like financial struggles when I was like younger, because my mom was in this marriage and there were just like some financial bullying going on there. And it's a long story, and they had a really messy divorce, but she would do this thing like towards the end of their marriage and like even after, because she like, it was like he awakened that within her that was like already in her from like childhood. And she started doing this thing where it was like, oh, don't eat my food, I paid for it, you know, like, what, mom? I thought we all, you know, like, or like, you gotta buy your own groceries, you have a job, or go get a job, you know, like, or you want this, or you want me to give you this, then you gotta do like these 6 chores, you know. It was like, and it, like, I didn't understand it at the time. Like, I took it as like, I didn't understand that she was kind of coming from this like lack poverty consciousness, and eventually I took it on too. One time I went to my dad's, and I was like, and I was really like kind of watching my butt, so to speak, with like what I was doing, and like asking before I used anything or touched anything, kind of a thing. And my dad's like, what are you doing, you know, like, I was like, I don't know, and I just like realized, holy crap, that's not normal, you know. I like conformed to her kind of poverty consciousness, and when she would do that, it would make me feel like that she didn't love me enough to like do something for me or give me like a basic necessity or whatever. So it made me feel like, then she was like, oh, like you don't, she made me feel like I didn't deserve it by being like, you need to do these things to get it, or get a job, pay for your own food, kind of a thing. Like, and it made me feel like I was like worthless, you know, because like a lot of the times, and then I took on this poverty consciousness, because a lot of the times poverty and lack consciousness comes from not feeling like we have enough. And the only time we feel like we don't have enough is when we don't think that we can have enough, because we don't feel like we deserve it. A lack of self-love and self-worth. My mom would always like respond to my energy if I was like feeling like down about myself and like low or anxious or something, it was like she was like going crazy or like being super mean or something. But if it's like, if I was like in a good space and like she was like that, like she would just like fix, like match my energy. You know, my mom is totally awesome, lovely lady. Don't get me wrong, I love her. And you know, like I was just so jaded at the time because she was like my mom and stuff, like that, like with that stuff, it was like, my mom doesn't love me, da da da, you know, and like I just thought that she was like super selfish and like but it's like, and I was just like blinded by like my wound, and like I was looking for like validation through worth through my mom, and like and I eventually figured out like to give it to myself, and then like my relationship with my mom like got so much better. We all think these thoughts, and our thoughts are reflecting the kind of beliefs that we're carrying. For example, something I used to do a lot, like when me and my sister Genevieve share a car, like when she would pull in the driveway, like after going somewhere, she would just like sit in the car for like a while, like just listening to music out there and doing her thing, because she just like to sit in the car for some reason. And I would just like, when I would know that she like pulled in but like didn't come inside, I was like, really? She's leaving the car running that long? Like I'd pay for that gas too. Like I would start to have thoughts like that, or you know, like you know, you know, like, and it's like I wouldn't even be having those kind of thoughts. Like I wouldn't have even had that thought if I weren't coming from a space of like lack and a poverty consciousness. We're telling this story about ourselves and how our life is with the thoughts that we're thinking. We may or may not be directly thinking this, but it's like, oh, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm so ugly, I hate myself, I'm a piece of crap, you know, I don't deserve that, or oh, I don't have money, that means I'm crappy, you know. Or we could just be like, we're thinking thoughts that like reflect those beliefs, like, really, she's gonna sit out there in the car and burn up that gas? I pay for that gas too. Oh, you're gonna eat my food? You know, like, it's just like, or like, oh, I'm getting mad at this person because they're taking so long because I need to be somewhere. You know, this lack of time, this lack of money, this, you know, this lack consciousness. If you're kind of wanting to heal lack consciousness, or you're coming from it, something that, like a big step is to be aware of the thoughts that you're thinking. There are these powerful creators, and you know, the thoughts that we're thinking are literally creating into our reality and creating our reality. So it's like when I'm thinking thoughts like, oh, she's burning up the gas, I'm thinking thoughts about not having enough gas. So I'm creating a reality where gas in my car is a scarcity for me. So I stopped thinking that. Thing that I would like say in my head, because it's like, for a while, I was like, plenty of money, plenty of time. So when you notice yourself thinking those kinds of thoughts, just literally stop yourself. Become the awareness, like step beyond the thought, like become the awareness behind the thought. And then it's like, once you become the awareness, you're no longer, that story is no longer true. Because it's like, you're not telling that story anymore, you're not believing it, you're becoming the awareness behind it. And then you get to change your thought. And then by changing your thought, you're changing your story. And by changing your story, you're changing your reality that you're creating for yourself. And you know, it takes time and practice and persistence. And I mean, it's not easy, but I wouldn't really say it's hard. Something that I would do for myself too, because like that poverty consciousness would reflect into like not only my time and my money, but underneath it was this feeling like I didn't deserve. So that reflected in my self-esteem. Like, so if I were like going to the gym, I would be like, oh, you know, I'd be like tense and stuff, like, oh, don't look at me, oh, I'm so ugly, oh, I feel weird in these clothes, you know, just like, I would just be thinking or feeling these kind of weird feelings and thinking these kind of weird thoughts. And then I would just be like, all right. And then when I was like first breaking out of that, I was like, take a deep breath. Okay, what would I be thinking right now and feeling right now if I didn't feel like I was not good enough? Like if I felt really great about myself, just even if you don't believe right now, just think, you're really awesome. You're really awesome. I love you. I accept myself. I love myself. My body is awesome, or just, you know, whatever. Like, what, okay, if I really believe that, what would I be doing right now? What would I be thinking? How would I be feeling? You know, and that's something that I would do at the gym, you know, like in driving my car. And so I'd always just like, you know, no, breathe, let out like the resistance and be like, and then choose my thought. And then choose that creation, and then eventually it's like, that's where I'm coming from, you know? It's like, I'm not coming from the poverty anymore. Like, by changing the thoughts, you change your story, and then your feelings are just, you know, your indicators of what you're believing and how, you know, much in alignment that is with you at your core. And then so it's like when you're thinking these like poverty thoughts, it's like, like you get this like tenseness, like this this resistance, you know, like, or like this fear that's, you know, that's out of alignment, this sadness, like this internal, like something that doesn't feel easy and good, that's your emotional indicator that you're out of alignment. So something, a thought that you're thinking or something that you're believing, you know, that's making you feel bad, like change the thought and then just breathe and, you know, and just keep doing that and like be persistent with that, and literally like you'll be amazed at how much your life will change. Anyways, love you guys. Namaste.